I have this Hot Topics channel in my Discord where I have you guys link stuff for videos for me to watch. And normally I want like non-Overwatch or Rivals videos, but this video in particular has been linked like 20 times in the last like 3 days. How Marvel Rivals made the real Overwatch 2. And the thing that made me normally I don't really watch these types of videos anymore, but how I got tricked into playing Overwatch again, I want to see that part. Let's go.
Get off of me! Don't touch me! I'm not going back! I swore to myself I wouldn't go back to Overwatch! I'm better now! I'm reformed, I swear to God! I don't even think about team comps or alt combos. Payload, I'm just trying to pay my bills. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
Hey, wait a second. Bastion!
How I got tricked into playing Overwatch again.
Overwatch dropped in 2016, nearly 10 years ago.
Oh, where does the time go?
Every single person I knew was on that shit like Junkrat to a glue trap.
Blimey.
It was new, exciting, easy to pick up, and the obvious game of the year, and boy oh boy was it damn good looking. It really was a cultural phenomenon. It's kind of unbelievable how popular and successful it was. My friends list, which for most multiplayer games would have maybe 2 or 3 people.
No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I'm sorry. Yes, it was. It absolutely was.
Now would have like 20 or 30 people at once, like every single night. It was crazy. It, no joke, felt like Overwatch would never slow down. Only up from here, right, fellas?
Uh-oh. Oh,
Then
no.
Overwatch released it's a fake sequel, let's be honest, that was less consequential than an update that somehow had worse monetization than loot boxes. They completely gutted the PvE, barely updated anything, and then they forced you to grind for new characters, and later on reversed that change, and people celebrated as if they got something new and cool. You're back where you started. If you ever want to lose your mind.
Okay, that is one thing I don't really like too much when that kind of stuff happens, is like if they make a bad decision and then people are like, hey, this is shit, what are you guys doing? Don't do this. And then they go back and say, you guys are right, we're not going to do it anymore. Is that not in human nature to be like, thank you, please don't? Yeah, that was like, good job making the reverse decision instead of just sticking to your guns and like, you know, just telling us to go ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? That's just like a small thing that always irks me a little bit.
Look at the comment sections of like any Overwatch 2 update or like dev vlog or whatever, and see people defending it. When they announced 5v5, everyone's like, Blizzard, you're genius. Then they came back with 6v6, which is what it already was, and they're like, how did they do it? How did they come up with it? Quick editor's note. So Overwatch just announced they're bringing back loot boxes, and everyone's excited. Overwatch is back, baby. Could you imagine making a monetization system so bad that people are excited for loot boxes?
Well, yeah, but it's also like not paid loot boxes. It's just for fun. Like it's for free. But like, what do you want from them though? I know it's all in good fun. I know they're kind of mostly memeing, but it's like, I know it's funny, Overwatch butt of joke, ha ha ha. But like real talk though, like we were gonna actually have a conversation. Is it not good to get things that people want and like try to make it better? You know what I mean? Like what? Like how do you win? How do they win? You know,
and that's not even taking into consideration the many literal crimes.
They're not
and
wrong,
evil
but at the same time,
deeds
like
woven into the Blizzard Necronomicon. But as
God.
you all know, since the release of Overwatch and its subsequent bold-faced lie of a sequel, many clones and wannabe competitors have popped up like black mold, incessantly spreading to the source for a morsel of success. So in comes Marvel Rivals, probably the biggest name yet to try and take a piece of the pie. Initial reception was actually pretty quiet. You wouldn't find many posts, memes, or discussions about it until the alpha beta stuff, and even then it was lukewarm at best. But I thought it looked pretty damn good with its third person.
There was some issues with the beta, like big ones. My big one was the maps. Like you played the same map for 2 hours straight sometimes, and it just that was
camera,
boring.
team-ups, and absolutely gorgeous 10 out of 10 art style. And on the topic of team-ups, I have something I am so excited to say. I am vibrating through the floor. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon Company International, baby! If you know me at all, you know I love Pokemon. I mean, God,
Wait,
literally
really?
yesterday I drove to McDonald's to get some promo card packs.
Give me my shiny cardboard. Now.
So I am delighted to tell you guys about the huge new update coming to Pokemon Unite. Suicune,
One of the best visually designed legendaries
Wait,
ever.
that's actually a
slamming in.
W
You can join
sponsor.
Suicune's
What the
glacial
challenge now to snag Suicune for free. Enjoy fresh new features and earn a ton of
Wait,
dope prizes.
actually,
And if that's not
massive
enough to
W
satiate your
sponsor.
quick gluttony,
Holy
launching
shit.
a brand new game mode, First to 500, where the timer has been atomized and you're now in a quicker, fast-paced Unite battle where the first team to score 500 points wins. Listen, I'm
watching it. I'm watching this part.
Now's
Don't
the time
care.
to jump in. Click my link in description if you're a new or returning player, and join me on the field as I completely dumpster other players. As
I bet they
Psyduck.
paid good.
Thanks again.
I mean, I've never worked with Pokemon, but like typically the big mega companies don't pay very well, actually.
And to the Pokemon Company for sponsoring this one. Truly a dream come true. I thought Marvel Rivals had legit potential, and I'd even send early gameplay videos to friends, and they'd say nothing, because let's be honest, two insanely tired franchises glued into one doesn't really get the excitement pouring. Everyone was sick of Overwatch and hero shooter clones. I mean, Concord was just born and then killed a few months ago, and Marvel movies and shows have been releasing faster than any human can keep up with, so as you've probably felt too, the Marvel bloat was real. So I get it. I basically walked in with two of your exes and said,
Imagine if you could have both of these bad bitches.
but before you could turn around in disgust, they both performed a DBZ-style fusion dance, merging themselves together into, honestly, a damn good game. Marvel Ravioli feels like the first ever successor to Overwatch, despite the entire industry
True.
trying for the last 10 years.
True,
And
actually.
it makes sense. Who better to make a hero shooter than one of the main two dudes that basically invented heroes as a concept?
We spent how much on Suicide Squad?
Aesthetically,
Howdy,
it's
Baldy.
unbeatable. The stylized, harsh comic line work accompanied with the super
thanks for
exaggerated
thanks for 6
proportions
months.
and colors is just a constant treat for the eyes. I mean, look at it compared to the Avengers game.
Holy shit, I did not know it was that big of a difference.
Look at Black Panther. Rawr! Iron Man looks like he's cosplaying as Iron Man. UI elements and effects gorgeously mix 2D
That is
and 3D
horrible.
elements. And the character designs here as a whole are some of Marvel's best in their history. Banger after banger after banger after...
Ooh, how'd you get in there, bud? God, your head looks weird.
And of course, 80% of Marvel Rivals' DNA is completely and openly extracted from TF2 and Overwatch. What's the payload? You mean the pile of sentient black goop? Reinhardt
Yep.
shield?
Yeah, we call him Dr. Freaky around here.
Got soldiers, 70 Bastion, but the altar's on Star-Lord. Junkrat drop the rat trap or a squirrel horde. Widowmaker, Black Widow, Hawkeye,
True.
Hanzo, Diva crashes, Hulk smash, Adam, you
You
can...
know what? One of the funniest things though was that former Blizzard executive tweet. You didn't see the tweet? Made a tweet basically saying Marvel Rivals stole Widow from Overwatch, and people were like, "Bro, what the f are you talking about? Black Widow's existed since like 1968 or something." And he doubled and tripled down on it, and then he eventually just deleted this tweet. It was so funny. I was dying. I was like, listen, man, I'm totally down to call out when like games do like stupid shit, you know. And I was like, dude, you are not even up. You're not an uphill battle. You're fighting from a hole.
Slashes, look
You're fighting from. You dug your own grave and then decided to keep digging.
We straight up Sigma. Farrah's just Iron Man.
Maximum force!
But where Rivals truly stands out here is all the completely original heroes and abilities. The game beautifully self-breaks itself to give all the heroes a unique and almost overpowered feeling. Groot slamming down walls that heal, deal damage, and seal off entire choke points.
They're never gonna see me coming.
Or take a look at Invisible Woman, who can turn her entire team invisible and snap place mini shield walls to protect even mid-air flying teammates. Mr. Fantastic has lingering hitboxes on his rubber arms so you can swing around your mouse like a competitive Power Wash Simulator player and probably still deal some good
Mr.
damage.
Fantastic.
Whatever the hell Iron Fist is.
Honestly, he's so terrifying that I barely understand his kit because I refuse to let the inner workings of the devil into my mind. And Wolverine's damage being percentage-based, so he melts tanks but sucks against DPS characters. And his entire kit wrapped around
God.
repositioning enemy formations
Literally
and animation
scary-
canceling his claws
oh,
through
God.
combo abilities.
Oh,
And he also
God.
has the
Oh, God,
stupidest team-up
please.
ability where Hulk can hold him like a little baby and just straight up beam him at the enemy team.
What is that? What are they doing? Stop it!
The team-ups as a
And then
whole
you can get real advanced with it by getting the raccoon team up, or not team up, the jump pack, and then you can go extra high. Oh
here,
yeah, it
absolutely
gets freaky.
genius, and a huge reason why this game is so interesting. On On release, the game came out with a little over a dozen combos, but it seems with every character edition, they're gonna add some more.
And by
Yes.
the way,
They said they're gonna add a new character every 6 weeks, and if they keep that promise, I myself will engrave the date on Overwatch's tombstone. But what we have already gives such a deep and interesting
Listen, I think this has been a great video. It's actually very funny. I won't lie though, as someone who's very much in both communities, it is kind of low-key screaming that like you're not really up to date like on like the last couple of years of Overwatch stuff, because like, not saying, you know, Overwatch has done the best and like they're definitely in trouble long term, but if they actually get serious like they've said they're going to, with Spotlight and before that, and then all the stuff that they've recently come out, like Perks and Stadium soon, if they actually get serious and like you see the benefits of that like a year from now, the current Overwatch player base is already sort of happy with the changes that they've made right now and are looking forward to some of the stuff that's coming. And also, Rivals is low-key the best thing that had ever happened to Overwatch. Just saying. Like, it is genuinely the best marketing Overwatch has ever had. Both to make the game be forced to be better, but also give eyes on it and actually get people to try it. And you might be like, well, what do you mean? There's a lot of people that didn't know they actually liked hero shooters until they played Rivals. At some point, they're gonna get bored of Rivals. It's gonna happen. The honeymoon phase is kind of fast. Whether it's like till the next season, it always happens in a seasonal game. Like those last like 2, 3, 4 weeks, there's not much going on. Sometimes you get a little bit bored. Not saying you say you hate the game, right? No one's saying you hate the game, but people do get bored of it eventually until the next set of content comes, which is totally normal. That's how players play games, right? During that cycle, they might actually give Overwatch a try, because it used to be kind of like a forbidden game, like, oh, I don't know if I want to try it, to be honest. But I will just say this. Overwatch has tried to sponsor people in the past, and sometimes they just say, nah, like I'm good, like I don't want to play it. The other day I hopped on Rivals to record some content. I had to do some spectating I wanted to do, and I saw like half the OTV roster were sitting and playing Overwatch. Were they sponsored? Yes. Did I also know that there's been sponsors in the past that Overwatch has done and it hasn't brought in outside streamers very much? Also, yes. Which means it was enough to actually kind of get their attention, whether it's from money, which historically Overwatch doesn't pay like that great, or just intention of just like, let's see if the game's actually good these days. I know this video is mostly for fun, but I figured I'd at least share that viewpoint a little bit.
level of combination and strategy that even adding a few more over time could really shake things up. Many combos grant entire new movesets and animations, while others allow certain characters to steal
You're confused. You're talking OTK. I said OTV.
abilities from allies.
Those are two
Turn your
different
buddies
orgs.
into infinite ammo mobile death lasers. And sometimes even the enemy team needs to be killed 30 times. Stop resurrecting every 5 seconds, you son of a bitch! Adam, put that little stick down, so help me God, do not wrap your teammates in another mustard cocoon. It's a common feature in hero shooters to swap characters on the fly if you're getting your ass smushed in, or if your team comp just isn't currently viable. And that's even more important and interesting here, because you're not only weighing your team up possibilities, but also your total team comp as a whole within those parameters. Sometimes it's best to have certain heroes that don't combine with one another. Other times it's best to have 1 or 2 team ups at once. But learning multiple heroes so you can bounce back and forth between those combos is such a rewarding experience and gives you a lot of control, which
it also rewards you for playing with your team and like giving them team ups, right? Like if you know how to play Hulk and you have an Iron Man on your team, like playing Hulk, you make them stronger, you know, it's actually
super
works
nice
out
in any competitive game and gives the genre a new perspective.
True.
Wait, new perspective? Is this an incredibly lazy segue? Now, this really doesn't seem like a big deal, but I think it's shockingly important. There's been a few before that have kind of tried the whole third-person thing, but there's never really been anything quite like this. I really think Rivals would have struggled to make half of these characters in first person. I mean, could you imagine playing as Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I'm gonna puke up my sandwich. The decision to leave first person behind
I couldn't
allowed
even
them to
imagine
make
it.
extremely contrasty characters with vastly different movement capabilities. Playing as Spider-Man or Venom and being able to web swing a web-billion miles per hour around the map versus playing as a slow Groot or a teleporting, sword-wielding mutant feels like you're playing multiple completely different games. Wow, this game really makes you feel like
Input hero here.
this game just honestly feels like the next step in the genre. Destructible environments allow hit scan
fan characters to steal easy kills and
I know a lot of people that don't like the indestructible environments though. Chat, give me a 1 if you like the indestructible environment. Give me a 2 if you don't.
fast characters to rush behind enemy lines. In some modes, you can bank your unused ultimate, so if you know you're gonna lose a round, you can come out swinging in the next. And outside of a few small outliers, the balance is actually pretty
Personally,
damn solid
I actually kinda
currently.
like it.
Almost everyone is
But
viable in certain
it's pretty
situations.
close.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. This game rules. This is the most I have loved Marvel since Infinity World. Oh shit. Infinity World.
Infinity World?
Infinity War is what I meant to say, and I haven't enjoyed a competitive multiplayer game like this since, honestly, Overwatch 1.
Don't you mean Overwatch 2?
Listen to me. No matter what they try to tell you, they're the same goddamn thing, you hear me?
So, will Rivals ever reach the gargantuan heights that Overwatch did in the beginning? I highly doubt it.
Hot take, it already overpassed it. It already overtook it. Here's the thing. Overwatch 2016 was before gaming really exploded. Like, gaming exploded 2018 Fortnite. That's when it became super, super mainstream. Yes, it was always popular. Yes, everyone always did it. But, like, it was more of, like, the boys, right? Like, you and your friends from school. Like, you'd go home from school, hop on Xbox Live, and play, right? But it really hit mainstream with Fortnite. That's when people started to figure out, like, who's this ninja guy? He makes millions playing video games? How does that work? Like, that is genuinely when you hit the accelerator. Then you took the accelerator and put a supercharger on it, put a turbocharger on it, and put it to the floor when COVID hit, right? Today's gaming, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, gaming culture is light years ahead of 2016. If you go back and look at like Twitch numbers, for example, for 2016 Overwatch, like peak everyone watching like huge games, huge days, or like 60,000 viewers for the category. I'm not joking. Overwatch 2's launch actually, in terms of like talking and people like knowing what the game and playing it, I bet even eclipsed Overwatch 1. Rivals eclipsed all of it. Just because gaming's way bigger. And that's how it's gonna always be if gaming keeps growing.
But I'm telling you this here and now, this is the next big thing, and it'll be big for quite a damn while, especially if they continue these massive,
for sure,
bombastic seasons and updates. The ludicrously sized dream list of characters they have alone is staggering. They have a Smash Bros style effect right now where everyone is begging for dozens of different characters. And honestly, the second they drop like Thanos or something, everyone and their mom is gonna be on this shit. To this day, I still can't believe Overwatch dropped as many balls as it did. Even watching Arcane pisses me off. Like, how did Blizzard never make an animated Overwatch series? We all...
See, this is what I mean about like not being in the know. We know the answer to this. There was a lawsuit with Netflix for poaching a executive. So it was actually potentially going to happen. You know, let's say I make soda and then I team up with a chip company, right? Like we're going to sell packages of chips and soda, and then we get into an argument and then I sue the chip company. They're not going to want to work with you, right? Like that, you're just like, you're suing them. So like, that's the answer. We know that's the answer. So it's like, I don't blame them. It's not their fault. Who's going to keep up with all this shit at this point? It's not their fault. But just to reiterate on my point earlier.
I love the character cinematics. Also, side note, Arcane is undoubtedly one of the best pieces of animated media ever created, but I refuse to play League of Legends. No amount of me sobbing at my TV propaganda is gonna turn me into a Manchurian summoner. Marvel Rivals is currently in the same position as Overwatch at launch. It's being watched by everyone on Twitch. It's decimating a bunch of records. Every streamer and creator is talking about it. The monetization is currently pretty fine, and the game is really, really fun.
Fun?
I will say though, it is definitely tapering off very quickly. Not very quickly, sorry. As the mid-season has now gone on, that's normal. It's gonna now become a more regular thing. I would be surprised. I wanna know what the long-term view looks like.
Competitive.
Also, here's Marvel Rivals at 50K. Here's Overwatch at 38. Shroud's in here hard carrying right now. There's me sitting right here, SK Siegel. Then if you go back, Overwatch is getting hard carried right now by Overwatch Esports, but also Aspen just logged in. So like when this ends, like they'll probably distribute out with Frogger and Aspen and others that are on. You could say drops. Rivals has drops, they're not that good. Overwatch is at the end of its drop cycle, so most people have already got their drops. So they both have drops. They're both towards either bad drops or at the end of their drop cycle. Long term, We'll see.
Competitive games are supposed to make you want to drown yourself, Buster.
Twitch viewers is not relative. They legitimately just made the point that everyone's watching Rivals on Twitch. Like, that was their words, not mine.
As long as they don't start making skins that cost $14 trillion and destroy the game with insane balance or team changes, I really think they have a long-term slam dunk on their hands.
Oh, for sure.
I truly don't see how they fuck this. No. No.
Yeah, that is the one thing that they could with monetization stuff. Really good video though. Now I understand why people linked it to me a bunch. I do hope the stigma on the Overwatch stuff kind of changes over time, because like, real talk, even if you don't like Overwatch, even if you don't, you hate it, whatever it might be, right? You should want both games to do well, because they will both push each other to be better long term. They'll both push them to be better long term. So that's the point. Everyone wins in that scenario. Good video though. Very good video.